Dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun-dun. Welcome in to NFL Week 15. It's the closing line with me, the big man on campus, and my co-host, Donnie Rightside. We're taking you through Week 15, getting you ready. Injuries, weather, picks, all sorts of trends and stats. We got you ready. One of the best football shows on the internet, breaking down the games live. Let's bring in our esteemed co-host, Donnie Rightside. How you doing?
Doing good, baby. Another week in the NFL, refreshed, ready to go. We'll see what happens. It's a lot of late movement today, Jeff, in some of these games. Some injury information you're going to want to go over. What are we going to spend? Maybe the next 50 minutes or so going over every single game on the slate today. Who's in, who's out, who's up, who's down. Let's see what happens today. Let's get after it.
Yep. Make sure you all out there hit the like button. We welcome you in and hope you are having a great weekend. We will get in to our plays here. We'll go over every game, so no need to ask. We'll get into all of them here. So sit back, with your breakfast, whatever you have in front of you, and let's get after it here. Let's get in, Donnie, to our first game. First of all, how's your morning? You get any breakfast in you? How you feeling?
Yeah, actually, not really like breakfast, and I'm ready to go. So let's do this.
You don't like breakfast, really?
Not today. It's too much going on. I eat very rarely on Sundays until like after that 4 o'clock stretch there. Just so a lot of stress going on, a lot of maintenance going on, a lot of stuff we have to do. There's no time to eat on Sundays. I mean, we're focused and ready on this.
Get into it here. We'll start out with the Miami Dolphins heading on the road to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings 5 or 4.5 total. What do we have? I hate when they do that.
45. 45 and 7.5 for the lines.
Now, obviously, Miami off the Miami Miracle, a come from behind, unbelievable win against that hapless Patriot defense. Now you got to go on the road here, Donnie. Games are over now. The parties and celebrations are over. And again, remember, Donnie, you didn't win the Super Bowl. You didn't win a playoff game. It was just a game you won, okay? So we got to move on now. Now you got to go on the road up to face a team that, look, obviously really needs a win. Obviously really needs to beat you up and get out of there with a solid win. But a quarterback right now, Donnie, that has some concerns. I mean, you gave $80+ million to Kirk Cousins. He's underperformed, but you got rid of DeFilippo. The goal, I believe, is to run the football a little bit more, open up that passing game, setting up that passing game. And without Xavier Howard today, I think that might be obviously very big for Minnesota. Thielen and Diggs should be open. They should have the ability to move the ball. But, Donnie, I want to throw something out to you here. Mike Zimmer, one of the better ATS coaches in the league over his tenure, right? You look at off of a straight-up loss in his next game at home, they are 13-3 against the number with Mike Zimmer at the helm. That's over 80% of a cover rate. So this is a great spot. A Minnesota team right now that's obviously down. Recency bias is they can't move the football, but they have a good defensive line. They should get after Tannehill. And without Xavier Howard, you have to think Minnesota is going to be able to move that ball downfield. Let's hope they can run the ball, set up that run, get Dalvin Cook going, get some of those guys going. That'll set up that pass down the field. At this number, I'm leaning Minnesota at this point, but the reverse line movement, it doesn't seem interesting. I thought the line was a bit higher.
Yeah, no, 7.5. I mean, it was at 7s all week. You saw the line dip up to 7.5. Now you're seeing like Chris at 7.5, Intertop's at 8. So I'm actually surprised it went over the 7 range because, as we know, that's a pretty big indicator. If you're just looking at, ebbs and flows of the NFL, big win over your rival. You shouldn't have won the football game, but you did. You go on the road. And then you see the Minnesota Vikings who have a little bit of internal turmoil, but having a damn tough schedule over the last 4 to 5 weeks, 3 out of 4 games on the road. You finally come back home where you play well. This is the healthiest the Minnesota Vikings have been all year long heading into this football game. Xavier Rhodes, it seems like, Jeff, 5 to 6 weeks, either had hamstring or ankle injuries. He's set up and ready to go. You get Wayans back in this game after last week missing the week with the concussion, which was a big injury. Got hurt, I think, in the third quarter of the New England game. Front line's ready to go. Linebackers are in there. And then you look at the offensive side of the ball, another week to get healthier, where all of a sudden, Jeff, you didn't really see on the injury reports you're missing practice time. Thielen's always going to be on there with that back injury. I guess it's just like Tom Brady, where they used to throw it on like a shoulder injury. But, Diggs, who missed practice in the past, fractured, ribs, whatever you had, or knee problems, swelling on planes, that seems to be dissipated at this point. So they should be full go in this game, and a game they absolutely need to head into the playoffs. To me, in this game, Jeff, it's going to be Vikings or nobody for me. Just think they're in a really good spot here.
Yeah, this looks like to me one of those good old 28-13 type of wins, something like that. I think this defense really comes to play today and shuts down, as we know, Donnie, a very average offense. Look, I know last week was a high scoring game
Mhm.
for the Dolphins, but that's a little bit out of the ordinary. This is not a good offense for the most part, a team that generally struggles. And I think this is a tough trip for them against a Viking teams that should see a little bit of a renaissance today, I think, offensively after being down a little bit and being a little bogged down. I agree with you here. Frankly, Donnie, let me ask you. The number was originally 7.
Mhm.
I got to be honest. I wouldn't mind laying the 7 here.
Yeah, if you
I
can
know
get it.
it's.
Yeah, I mean, it's not out there, but it would be nice to lay it.
I mean, again, I'm not saying that if you can lay a obviously and you know what, Donnie, I'm looking at the wrong goddamn number. No wonder I'm thinking 4. Why the fuck is this number 4 everywhere? I was looking at the first
There
half.
you go, man. Loving it. Look at that. You're
All right,
talking
there
about
we go.
massive reverse line moving from 8 to 4
Yeah,
this morning.
I'm looking at this
I
number.
was wondering where your cap was coming
Yeah,
from, where you're
I'm
saying,
thinking.
like, this is amazing, this movement. I'm going, actually, it hasn't moved that
Yeah,
much.
that's my bad. I was looking at the first half numbers, and I forgot to switch it back, Donnie.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, either way. So I guess, of course, everyone would lay 7 here because you can't get that number.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Okay, my apologies, but yeah, I think they win by double digits. I think this is a game where Minnesota kind of shows out a little bit under their the dome and at home. My apologies. Let's go to the next game. 309-310. Cincinnati hosting Oakland. Cincinnati 3, total 45.5. Donnie, you have 2 of the worst defenses in the league. I think we all know that. However, you're running with a backup quarterback there in Cincinnati with Jeff Driscoll and obviously with Derek Carr in Oakland. You look over the years, Donnie, you obviously think when you have 2 terrible defenses, generally that correlates to the game going over the number. Cincinnati giving up 30.5 points a game. Oakland almost 30 a game. And over the last 5 years, Donnie, when those 2 kind of defenses meet, where they're giving up 28 or more points, over 39 and 22. So a big over trender, obviously, makes total sense. You have 2 teams that aren't winning anything. You have to figure there's going to be a lot of open receivers in this game. Neither team gets to the quarterback. And one of Oakland's biggest issues is, Donnie, they just cannot get to the quarterback. I mean, their pass rush is non-existent. We know how bad Cincy is defensively. Even though we have some bad quarterbacks here, especially one with Driscoll, I still think they can move the ball. Joe Mixon should have some success here. The Raiders are bad run defense. They give up a lot of yards on the ground, and Mixon should be featured and given a lot of touches in this game. Over 45 looks pretty good here, Donnie.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me because you have 2 teams, going nowhere, both with really bad defenses. You're right, but what are we going to get out of Driscoll? We're going to push the football downfield with not too much at wide receiver. Now they should get their ground game going with Mixon. There's no question about that. But then you're saying to yourself, 3.5 threes, depending on where you're shopping. Like, do you really want to lay the wood with Cincinnati in this one? Should they win the game? They're at home. Oakland's really a bad football team, but Oakland has shown some fight over the past couple weeks. You could say that the same thing with Cincinnati going in and playing the Los Angeles Chargers tough the week before. But it's one of those games where I'm not betting this game, but if I did, I probably would just take the points and just see what happens in this one. I don't have a cap either way, clear edge on either the total or the side, just because it's 2 really bad football teams that don't really care about winning at this point. It's a tough game. Coin flip to me, I would just take the points and see where it ended up.
I think this is one of those weird, wacky games, 31-28, something weird. I think we see a lot of points in this game. You generally are going to throw caution to the wind defensively, Donnie. Why can't this turn into a shootout? I mean, seriously.
Because I don't know if Driscoll can do a shootout. You know what I mean? Like, if you had maybe the red rifle in there again, maybe. If you had AJ Green in there, yeah. If you had Amari Cooper on you know what? We could open this up. But I just look at it saying, like, where are the weapons coming from? And can Driscoll go for over 300 yards? I just see more mixing on the ground, just, games like one of those malaise. Can it go over? It's only 45 points, and both have bad defenses.
That's kind of where I'm looking at with it.
And I can't disagree with you on that.
If this is 52, maybe I'd be a little less interested. But, I mean, you look at last week. I mean, Driscoll, he didn't turn the ball over. 170. They put up 21.
Yeah.
That's all I need from them today. Put up 21. I think the Raiders probably are the play in this game. Give me a 27-21 type of game. I mean, just don't make dumb mistakes. If you make a mistake, make sure it's a pick six, Driscoll. Or that's all we care about. I don't really care about mistakes. Make all the mistakes you want, as long as it's not in the red zone or the 7-yard line. So yeah, I'm going to look over the number here, over 45. What else are we going to go here? Let's move on to our next one. So you don't have much of an opinion on that one, though.
No, it's if I'm going to get points from either, if the Cincinnati Bengals, Jeff, were getting 3, I would have taken them. So that's just where I sit on this game. They're two bad football teams. I don't trust either one to technically win and cover, so I'll just take the points.
Now, Donnie, I want to update. I want to make sure we're doing this to board. This number's 45.5. I can get 45.5 at Bookmaker or BetOnline. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to lean with the over in this one. Couple comments. Thanks for all of you guys joining us here today. Over 330 people in here. Do us a favor. Make sure you hit the like button. Shout out to my guy, Nuke Worker. He's a good supporter of the shows here. Shout out to all you guys.
Does he work in a nuclear facility, Jeff? Nuke Worker.
He does. He works. He's from Canada, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Frank Rizzo. What's up, Mayor? How you doing?
Pride. Yep.
Mayor in here. I thought he was dead, but I guess he's.
No, you're never
that
dead.
might be his son.
Yep.
I don't know. Hopefully, you don't have the same views as your father, Frank. Welcome in.
Here crack heads. Maybe he's in here to crack some heads.
Yep. Alex Hills, what's up? Matt McCursey, Neil Frank. Shout out to all you guys. Good people in here. Welcome in. Eddie, settle down, Eddie. Yeah, you're on your last leg.
Yeah, how many sidekicks have I actually had, though? That was interesting.
Yeah, sidekick. I've been on this channel for 6 years. Oh, it's sidekick. I don't know. It's funny. Thank you. Ha, funny. Let's move on. Tampa Bay, Baltimore. This should be a wet and wild game, Donnie. Very bad weather conditions here. I'm about an hour north of Baltimore. It's been pouring here. It was pouring all day yesterday. It's raining all day today as well. Should see some wet conditions here. Baltimore, 8.5 or 9. You can get 8.5 still at a couple different books. Total is 45 or 44.5. Donnie, you look at Baltimore. Obviously, the conditions probably going to shoot them in this game wholeheartedly. Defensive end giving up 18.5 points a game. They're going to want to run the ball 50 times. That's where they are at the season at this point. And I know you're a Pro Football Focus guy, Donnie. You look at this run defense grades. Tampa Bay, the worst in the league, dead last. They can't stop the run. You look at it on the surface, how does Baltimore not run away in this game? And then you say to yourself, and I heard Loshak mention this, yeah, I've seen a few games in a row here with no picks from Jameis Winston. But, Donnie, this is different. It's weather. It's a great defense. This looks like one of those prototypical games where everyone will tease Baltimore. Everyone will say the weather's going to suit Baltimore perfectly here. But can that offense put up 28 points in this game to cover this number? Because for as bad as Tampa is defensively, they could still move the ball. They're still a good offense for the most part. Listen, gun to my head, I'm not betting this game. I got to lay it with Baltimore. I just don't think Tampa's any good. I think these conditions are terrible for them. And that Baltimore defense could surely shut them down here. They're that good. What do you like here?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's getting to the point where I'm trying to come around to the Baltimore offense and say, you know what, they can function as an operational offense. But a lot of times when you look, Jeff, like, why did you like them last week, right? We weren't laying 6.5 or 8.5 points. You were a dog saying, I'll lean on that badass defense. Lamar Jackson to make enough plays in this game, and they should have won that football game. I had a misread the week before when they played the Atlanta Falcons. But again, what was the story in that one, Jeff, right? A pick'em game down there, basically a pick'em down in Atlanta. Atlanta might have ended up being, I think, favorites by like -1 or -2. Like Baltimore just to win the football game is a pretty cool proposition at this point because they're going to run the football. They're going to protect it. They're going to, Lamar Jackson make a play here or there and lean on that tough defense, slow the game down, which plays right into their wheelhouse. But you're asking them to do a lot different things. Now, I know a couple weeks back when they opened up, was it the Oakland Raiders, I believe. They got a defensive touchdown and a special teams touchdown to open that up and win that by double digits. You might need to see that today. But just right now, the way the Baltimore Ravens are constructed, especially on offense, it's still not conducive to me, Jeff, to a blowout. And yeah, look, I know they can, and they've done it in the past. But it's a lot easier, Jeff, if you say like Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback, say, you know what? They're just going to really get after it today and hang a 35 spot up. There's some rainy weather conditions. Jameis Winston's a valuable scrambler, to say the least. I think he can make some plays. I just don't want to get involved with Baltimore over a touchdown. I like them a lot better, Jeff, when they're in that range where maybe they're getting points or close to a pick.
Now, Donnie, I don't want to be argumentative here with you because, again, we generally do great things in the show. But I got to tell you, I think you're way off with the Baltimore Ravens offensively. I mean, what have they not looked good from? I mean, you look the last let's say 4 games. I mean,
Well, I mean,
27,
again,
20.
you're right. You're right. We're looking at the last 4 games, and and maybe you're right because Cincinnati is god awful, Oakland is god awful, Atlanta's god awful, and Kansas City is god awful. But then you can say also Tampa Bay is god
Defensive.
awful.
You know.
Yes, defensively is what we're talking about here. So that's why I'm saying to me, I need to have the quarterback that can throw for 340 on any given day. I just think sometimes when you lean on the ground game, it's more of a slow, controlled burn as opposed to we can get out to a 21-0 lead midway through the second quarter. Anything over a touchdown, it just scares me a little bit in the NFL with an offense like that. That's all.
Yeah, and I get your point. I'm good. We're going to disagree here. I'm going to look the other way. I've
been wrong. And I tell you, Jeff, we do a lot of shows together. What's the one team I tell you I can't quite get a read on? It's the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah,
so you probably shouldn't listen to my opinion on this one to go with the big mans.
Sure. No, hey, listen, I mean, we could, there's a lot of points. I hear where you're going. And again, this is definitely a public side. I mean, the Ravens are a public side, Don. I mean, I think 7 of the 10 tickets that are on this game are on the Ravens. So yeah, again, we're playing with fire here, jumping in a game like this, but it's hard. It's hard to take the Bucs in this game. It just is. Let's move on to the next game here. This is an interesting, great game. Indy hosting Dallas. Indy 3, total 47. Now, Donnie, you look at this number, hasn't budged off 3. You're thinking maybe it's 3.5, but we're not going to see 3.5. This is 3. That's simple. And here's the thing: when you're looking at a line, Donnie, once in a while you don't mind laying 120 and getting 2.5, but you're laying 120, and I'm going to lay a fucking 3. All in all, line looking at this game, I don't want to lay a full game 3 minus 120. It could be very well a winner, but it's hard to accept that. You look at, though, Luck. I mean, Luck has been he's turning into my favorite quarterback, Donnie, in this league. I mean, and I'm thinking you're going to agree with that. This guy is – I love Andrew Luck. I mean, he's just so terrific to watch. This offensive line has been fantastic all season. And you look at it in his career, and these are some great numbers here from Bet Labs, Donnie. In Luck's career, when facing a team that gives up 20 points or fewer a game, he's 14-4, up 9 units. Yeah. And he's the most profitable quarterback in the league against top-notch defenses. He just shreds everybody. You also look at the fact that this season at home, they're almost 80% success rate inside the red zone scoring a touchdown. Dallas has had issues with that. You also look at the fact that Dallas is a bit hobbled in this game. Zeke Elliott's a little hurt. There's some injuries.
Zach Martin now, huge. I mean, Tyron Smith is a great offensive lineman, but if you ask me right now, the guy I don't want to lose, it's Zach Martin, and he's out for this football game.
Yep. T.Y. Hilton is good. Now, again, Donnie, he was questionable last week, and I had the Colts last week, and I was waiting for him. I know you and I were right around that 11:30, clicking the injury reports. You look at him last week, 9 for 199.
Yeah.
He's a big player here. You almost want to ride the guy, no homo, as long as you can, Donnie. You need T.Y. Hilton for as long as you can in this game. But it's hard to lay. I like the 3, but I just have a problem with that 120. I think Luck is just a destroyer. I love the guy.
Yeah, I got it early in the week on the on our roundtable 2.5, which is a great line to have full game because obviously you just have to win the game by 3 points. But that was also before I knew T.Y. Hilton's been on a lot of maintenance over the past couple weeks, sitting out some practices. But this one is extra maintenance, which I didn't see coming, where he didn't practice all week. And let's see him run around on game day. So you're right. That's going to be something to keep an eye on because, the Cowboys have a really good defense and a really good secondary and one of the single best cornerbacks in the NFL. And you need to have T.Y. Hilton healthy to open up that offense. Otherwise, they'll just sit right on top of you and force you to go the intermediate route, get their pass rush going, and let their young athletic linebackers get after you. The question is, how long is T.Y. Hilton going to go for? And also, how effective is he going to be? Because we know, if he's running around pregame, he's probably ready to go. But that ankle can go any moment. Quick slant, quick out pass, gets tackled, guy falls on his leg. He's out for the football game. So maybe you want to get that short burst if you're Indianapolis to get that early lead and try to carry it late. But looking from a capping perspective, if you're looking from the Dallas Cowboys, they're a good football team. There's no question about it. But sometimes when you look at the NFL late in the season, it's what you're getting out of football teams and what you're getting out of games itself. Must win for the Cowboys? Absolutely not. They're in the playoffs. They won the NFC East. I don't care if the Eagles do that. No, the Eagles stink. The Washington Redskins stink. The New York Giants stink. They're in the playoffs, and they're going to wrap it up next week when they beat Tampa Bay at home. You have a running back that touched the ball 40 times last week and got injured. Your best offensive lineman is injured. You didn't. His first game. Get this, Jeff. First game he ever missed from high school, college to the pros. You don't think Zach Martin, even though I know he has a banged-up knee, wasn't going to give it a go if this was a must-win football game? He would be out there. The Dallas Cowboys are playing this smart, knowing they're in the playoffs. Let's not also forget 3 straight home games for Dallas, a first road game in over a month. Indianapolis needs this game. Indianapolis is at home. It's not a monster line. And when one team technically needs it a little bit more than the other one at home, I'm going to give them the edge there. So I think Indianapolis, nothing's changed to me, Jeff, as long as Hilton is playing, and he is.
Yeah.
I liked him early in the week, and I like him again today.
Yeah, agree wholeheartedly. You couldn't have said it better. Vitalis, welcome in. Where you been, Vitalis? I haven't seen you in a while in here. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, V, somebody was saying, were you saying it the other day? You haven't seen him in a while?
Yeah, I was asking. I was talking with Ski Profit about that. I haven't seen him in a while. I was wondering what happened to him. I guess there he is.
Maybe he was winning money in Reno out there. You never know.
Yeah, no, it's possible. Shout out to my guy Tony Nardo. What's up, buddy? A friend, Donnie, Ryan. You know Ryan. That's his cousin. So welcome in, Tony. Good people in here. A lot of people, over 400 people. Make sure you're hitting the like button, please. Join us every week, and when you get in here, make sure you hit that like button. It's great for the show. We have 1 dislike, Donnie, and 60 likes. So let's get that like button up. That's all we ask you to do. Zylan McCoy, I saw you on the news in Philly. Well, thank you, buddy. Glad you were watching. Thank you. But most people don't think I know what I'm talking about. But hey, the news, one of the greatest news broadcasts in the city, they know where to come, Donnie.
Yeah, that would have been even more impressive if you got Vernon Odom to go out.
Oh, right. Yeah, shout out to Vernon Odom, legend, retiring. Shout out to him. What else do we got? Let's move on, Donnie. So you're gonna agree with me. But what do you think about that 120? It's hard. You hate that, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, put it this way, Jeff? Would you rather have -3 -120 or -3.5 at +105? It seems like a no-brainer to me on which way you'd be going with that, right?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. If I love the whole, it's always the argument. But if this is baseball, you're definitely doing that. So.
It's only juice if it loses, Jeff. Don't you know the rules? Right. Come on.
Right. Joe Busk.
How about the over-under in this one, Jeff? I know we had a disagreement on this one. Over-under 47 at Chris, 46.5. But I would say the average line is 46.5 to 47. I see it trending a little bit more towards the under here, Jeff, when I think you're on the over.
Yeah, I just think for these two teams, I think luck destroys the Cowboy. I really do. I think he has a great game today. But then you look more and more into the Colts. This defense is better than you think. They're pretty good against the run. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of souring on that a bit, to be honest, Donnie.
Because what both of these, like, you're right about that. And I know a lot of people can get strayed by what the Dallas Cowboys did to the Eagles last week. That is an anomaly. That is, I'm going to drop back to pass. We're going to run 4 streak patterns, and we're just going to run by this team that has guys that should be bagging groceries playing football. Not the case here in Indianapolis, Jeff. It's a legitimate like, is Amari Cooper just going to run straight and just be wide? No, he's not. Zeke Elliott is banged up without their best offensive lineman. Is Zeke going to go for 160 today on 14 carries? No, he's not. I just think yards might be a little bit harder to come by. And let's not forget, Jeff, the Cowboys have a really good defense. T.Y. Hilton, a little bit hobbled. So maybe, Jeff, he doesn't hit those 3 to 4 deep shots. And they say, look, let's preserve it. And maybe only run one per half to try to keep that ankle balanced. 47's a decent number in this football game to try to get over. I just see it more, a little bit closer to playing in the low 40s here. 24-21 type style,
Big Moose, let's go, please. People want to put bets in.
Put them in. Yeah. Me and Jeff run a bookie business, so you're more than welcome. We're giving bonuses out, so you can put the bets in anytime.
Listen, we don't run on your time, dude. It's 12:25. There's not that many games.
Where are we going, though? Like, where are we supposed to go?
Yeah. I mean, what are we
already
doing?
Be done the card?
So we only work on his time. We're being paid by him. We're not being paid by you. We're going to break every game down in depth and talk about these games. And you can wait until we get to your game.
What fun would it be if we came on the first 5 minutes and just gave our picks for every game and then just bounced?
We're trying to give great breakdowns. And, of course, someone has to ruin it. Hurry up. Shut up. Sit down and listen. Let's move on to the next one, Donnie. Detroit and Buffalo. And again, this is a shorter card, guys. Remember that. We had a couple games yesterday. Detroit, Buffalo. This is an interesting one, Donnie. You basically 3 across the board. Now, you could lay a little and get 2.5 if you want, but 3 is the prevailing number if you want to lay 110. Over under is 40. There are some 39.5s and even a 39 showing up out there, Donnie. You look at this one. Listen, and Buffalo, you have to ask, how does Detroit move the ball, Donnie? I mean, we're at the point now with Detroit where what's the thing we know is not existent with them, Donnie? The run game. We know they don't run the ball at all.
Kerryon Johnson was a really nice, like, hey, they got a running back, but I guess he just can't ever come to play, Jeff, on Sundays anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Donnie, I want to break some, and I know you're going to appreciate this. I got some numbers for you. Donnie, you look at, this is per game numbers with Golden Tate. 24 points a game, 275 passing yards a game, 2 touchdowns on average.
And also you're throwing Marvin Jones in there too with them when they were with them. Yep.
Without them, 16.5 points a game, 212.5 yards a game, and 0.67 touchdowns a game. So everything is basically cut down considerably without Golden Tate. I mean, it just has. This team has not looked the same offensively without him. You throw in the fact that Matt Stafford is one of the worst ATS quarterbacks in the league, and you're facing the best statistical pass defense in the league. Now, I know people will point, well, big man, Darnold beat him last week. Okay, you're right. But I still will go on to the fact that this Buffalo defense is really good. They're at home here. I like Buffalo. I really do. This is one of my favorite games. It was right there for me as far as this one. The only one, and I know you're going to bring it up, Donnie, there's an important player on defense out for Buffalo.
I had Buffalo last week, and I really, really liked the Buffalo Bills last week, Jeff. And a lot of my cap was on, LaShawn McCoy, because this is with LaShawn McCoy and Chris Ivory both playing as well. And obviously Matt Milano is the injury that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But Buffalo crushed the Jets last week, beat them up. They were clearly the better football team for the entire 4 quarters, right up until like the last minute of a 4th and 1 where the Jets tackled every single person on the line of scrimmage and ended up scoring a touchdown and beating the Buffalo Bills outright. It's not the reason why I didn't take Buffalo this week because you get a little bit shell-shocked. Buffalo's the better football team. Buffalo is home. Detroit traveled to Arizona, traveled back to Detroit, now going to go outdoors, and the entire football team is banged up. You have a lot going for you if you're betting the Buffalo Bills. But then when I take a look at it and try to get deep down, like they're favored in this football game by 2.5 for most part, and then a lot of juice. So basically, they're going to have to win the football game by 3, which they should be able to do. Josh Allen is a really good. I'm surprised Josh Allen is this good this early, especially with his feet. He's probably going to do what he does, Jeff. What? Throw for 225 and rush for close to 100 yards. If he can stay away from the dumb mistake in his own territory, a fumble and interception, they should be fine in this football game. But when you're down to running backs that are pulled off the street in the practice squad, a rookie quarterback, it's a dingy, low environment. Who really needs to win? If you're asking me right now to bet this football game, I still would bet the Buffalo Bills, but that was enough to pull me back just a little bit and say, all right, it's still a rookie quarterback out there, and they made some mistakes, but they completely, Jeff, outplayed the Miami Dolphins the week before and also the New York Jets and just didn't come up with a victory. I think they can win today, though. Here's
the thing that I will say, though. It doesn't matter if this team is 1-15 and they're playing one more game at home. Those fans are going to be good up there. That's just
when they're playing for something. Like I understand.
I still think they're
head coach as well, but Buffalo is playing to win football games. Like if you watch them, there's no quitting that football team. They're just getting injured.
Now, Donnie, I also want to point out this is another good stat. Buffalo best pass defense in the league, 185.5 per game.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yep. And held, I think, the Jets to like 170. I think 170 yards. How did they lose? I still don't understand how they lost. They held the Jets to 170 passing, and they got beat.
Listen, you were on Buffalo last week, and I want to make this clear, Donnie. You've had some tough beats. We all have. The last 3 games I've bet in college basketball have been brutal. I mean, just horrendous.
Oh, it's been
3 out of the 4. Gonzaga wasn't a good bet, but listen, Donnie, back to 185.5 in Stafford's career. When he faces a defense allowing fewer than 200 yards a game, he's done that 17 times. He's 4-13 against the number, failing to cover by 7.2 points a game. And surprisingly, the worst in the league at that number. 4-13.
Yep.
He can't read good defenses, guys. That's very simple here. He's without his best players, and we broke that down on why this team has not played well. They are not good without Tate and Marvin Jones.
And a back injury going around on Matthew Stafford as well.
And Kenny Golladay, Donnie, you look at when he is bracketed by a good corner, per usual, he's taken out of the game.
Yeah.
Galladay's a nice player, but I mean, when you got a top-notch corner like Tre'Davious White on you, it's going to be difficult. And Tre'Davious White's been terrific. I mean, you look at against a lot of these guys, Hopkins, Adams, Hilton, Gordon. He's done a nice job against some of these guys.
No, they're stiff on defense, man. That's a stiff defense. It's a shame because Milano's the best overall player, which is, if you're going to lose somebody, it's probably going to be a linebacker as opposed to a cornerback that you can make up the difference with. But again, styles make fights. Like, can Detroit do? Detroit couldn't do anything versus Arizona last week, So
yeah,
I don't think they're going to be a high score. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring tilt. But then again, we keep getting back to the high 30s because you still got 39.5s out there. It just seems like you take these 30 games in Buffalo, like nobody's on offense. They play good defense, and yet this game will end up with 48 total points again and go over.
Yeah, I mean, those have been interesting and trendy, I know, betting Buffalo overs. Donnie, let's go to the next one here. Green Bay and Chicago, 317, 318. Chicago, 5.5, total 46 or 46.5. Donnie, the writing on the wall in this game, a lot of people betting it. A lot of people like the Bears. You look at the sharp bettors, they like Green Bay. I'll tell you this, and I want to see what you think. You know I'm a big Bear guy. I like this Bear team a lot. I thought this number would be a little lower. I was surprised to see this number at open 6. It's down to 5.5. I think it's a bit high. You look at Rodgers' success against the Bears in his career. Now, keep in mind, those are a lot worse Bears teams.
Yeah, you got to throw that. I mean, he's 8-0 versus the Bears at the Bears. But then again, I think a statistic like that, it's not 5 years ago.
I'll give it out. 21 games, 15-6 ATS, plus 8.5 units. No Bryce Callahan today. He's out. But this McCannis kid, Sherrick McCannis, has played pretty well when he's had to in the slot. So it seems like when the Bears, Donnie, lose a player, they just shove someone right back in there. Yeah. This is a terrific defense. You wonder how the success will be for this Green Bay offense, which, look, at times doesn't look very good. I mean, they have Aaron Rodgers, and he's great against the Bears, but this is a way different Bears team. Eddie Jackson, the number one safety at Pro Football Focus, should help the slot up a little bit. What do you think here, Donnie? It's a tough game. Seems, all in all, even with everything I said, still seems like a slobber knocker because Mitch Trubisky, for as good as his defense has been, he looks out of place at times. You got to get him to run the ball on the ground. Just keep him out of making mistakes. If he does what he does last week against anyone else, I'm surprised how poorly he played last week, and they still were able to win. That's a good football team right there to be able to do that.
Yeah, betting full game, Green Bay on the road, you would figure that they're going to keep it close or win it. But then when you look at what they've done on the road, Jeff, they don't have any road wins. So if you are betting a full game in this one for the Green Bay Packers to win, I do wish you luck. But I've been a little bit wishy-washy on this game all week long. My early indications in this game, Chicago Bears is going to bring the heat. They're just going to dump them. Did you see what they did to the Los Angeles Rams? But that's a little bit different of an offense of what you're going to face from the Green Bay Packers. They get a guard back in this football game, which is going to help them out. Balaga's still out, but you still have Bakhtiari on one side, one of the best pass blockers in the NFL. I think the Packers can do enough to hang around in this football game. Do I think the Packers are going to go in and beat the Chicago Bears? I don't, because that defense is really good. Yes, Bryce Callahan is a massive injury, one of the best nickel cornerbacks in the league. So that'll make a little bit of a difference. But Jimmy Graham hasn't done that much. And their offensive line isn't great, and you're going against a nasty pass rush from the Chicago Bears. But you're right. It comes down to the point where Mitch Trubisky is going to throw 2 passes in this football game, Jeff, that are going to be like, what is he doing? But the problem is, Jeff, you still have to make a play on those passes. You have to intercept it. You have to knock it down. You have to, step in front of it, maybe go the other way. I'm looking a little bit more Green Bay to hang around early in this one, Jeff, with a win by the Chicago Bears late. But again, I've been a little bit wishy-washy on this game. I can see it going a couple different ways. I'm going to lean on Aaron Rodgers doing enough to keep it close, but I just think the Bears, when it ends, you're going to lean on that really tough defense. And I think, Tariq Cohen and Howard to make enough plays in the running game against those Green Bay Packers to get the win. But been there, done that with the Packers. We'll see if they can keep it close.
Yeah, interesting game for sure. Almost 430 people in here. Shout out to all of you guys. Check us out every week here on The Closing Line and throughout the week on SBR. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Over 100 likes.
Over 100 in that one,
Keep doing that. Yep. 46. I don't know.
I was leaning on the audibles this week. I was leaning under, and I still actually do. Colder weather, and I always like to say, like, well, how do you take it over under if you have a defense that's not so good in Green Bay and you have Aaron Rodgers on one side? But as we both know, you need a little bit of an offense for an under, because if you're just going 3 and out on your own 20-yard line, you're going to have a million chances at it. But maybe Aaron Rodgers can say, this defense is really good. Maybe we'll just knife them. 4 yards, 4 yards, 6 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards. That eats up clock and turns into a 7-minute scoring drive, and that's how you get unders. I'm leaning under in this game.
Interesting. Let's move to the next one here. Tennessee and the Giants. Big line move here. Yes. Tennessee 2.5. We could see 3 in this game.
Opened up at -2.5 Giants. Now sitting across the board -2.5 with juice for the Tennessee.
Yeah, you might see 3 here. If you like Tennessee, you want to get on this quick. Total 42.5. Another weather game, Donnie. Going to be wet and rainy up in MetLife. I didn't have much in this game. I still find it amazing that the Giants are doing what they're doing. They're doing it mostly on the back of Saquon Barkley. This Tennessee run defense, pretty good. That could be the difference in this game. It's going to be a wet one. Listen, I hate unders in the NFL, but 42.5 seems like a good one. This seems like first to 20 wins, but.
Yeah, I got stoned last week. I thought I had a stone cold under 41 that I stole. Like, I was already doing one of those, Jeff, where you bet it, and then like a minute later, you just want to cash it out last week saying, no, Odell Beckham, Giants, crappy conditions, bad field in Washington. And who's my Mark Sanchez starting on the other side of football? That got exploded on. So this is a tough one, even though you're right, though. You got some wet, windy conditions. You have 2 teams that are going to look to run the football like they did last week, but Saquon Barkley was busting 80-yarders per clip, so that ruined that. But it's an interesting move, because why would the Giants open up at 2.5? Because they've been playing really good football. I think winners of the last 4 out of 5 and playing well at home, going up against the Titans, who are a little bit more rested on Thursday. And that 5-point swing, 2.5 to 2.5. And that's not just because Odell Beckham was ruled out for this football game. He was out last week, and they didn't seem to miss a beat. I like line movements like that. Well, I'm just going to go the other way. But, give me the Giants plus 2.5. I think they play it close. I think it's a tough game.
Yeah, I can't. The
swing is too big. Get on the opposite end. How about if I told you have Titans plus 2.5 right now? You probably you know what? I'll take that. But it's a little bit different when it swings. Where's the value now? Go back the other way, because the Giants haven't quit. The Giants, in a rainy day today, Eli Manning's not going to be forcing footballs to Odell Beckham. They're going to run a real offense. Evan Ingram over the middle, short, quick slants out there. Hand the football off to Saquon Barkley. I think they muck it up and keep it close, and I'll take the 2.5 today.
Yeah, you have at it. I'm not on this game, nor do I care much about it. So I'll give you your respect there. I feel like, Donnie, maybe we'll come back to this at the end of it. You want to see if you can get 3? You might get 3.
You might get 3, but it is what it is. I'm not going to be betting the game, but I'm just looking at it right now, saying at the 2.5. Just give me the 2.5, man. It's going to be a slugfest.
We got about 20 minutes still to go, and look at this, Donnie. We have only a few more games, so we're making good time here.
Hurry up.
321, 322. Jacksonville hosting Washington. Jacksonville 7.5. Total 36.5. Cody Kessler against who we got? Mark Sanchez.
Johnson.
Or yeah, I guess whatever. Josh Johnson. Does it really matter?
No. Actually, it does matter, because at least this guy can run around Madden-esque style and make plays like street ball. But no, Mark Sanchez would have got eaten up.
But again, Colin Kaepernick would somehow be better than any of these guys. I don't know. Just a guess. Let's move on before this one gets interesting. Donnie, 2 teams not really playing. Is Washington still alive, Donnie?
They are, exactly. Washington's been alive for the last 9 weeks, and nobody quite.
How can you lay 7.5 with the Jags?
That's Seriously. The point. That's the whole point.
I can't do it. I would just take the Redskins on principle here. Josh Johnson, 240 through the air today. He's going to kill it. Josh Johnson, sign him up.
Crazy. It's amazing how you look at this and you say, again, they shouldn't be laying 7.5, but when you watch the Washington Redskins, injured now on defense, been injured on offense all year long, quarterback off the street. And it's the only problem that you have is, can you just sit down and say, what Jacksonville, am I going to get the Jacksonville defense that says, you know what, let's just bow up here and have fun today? Because they'll lay that Redskins team out. But you saw them versus the Titans when said, you know what, this is a pride game. And they started making business decisions all over the place. Like, dude, I just don't want to tackle anybody today. And that's what you got in that Tennessee game. I said it all week. I'll say the same thing. There's 7.5 points in this game. Cody Kessler's the quarterback. Just give me the team getting the 7.5.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it, Donnie.
Yeah.
We're making good time because Big Man wants to make the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Oh yeah,
I am hungry. I am going to be hungry.
I'm hungry myself.
Yeah.
I got to eat lunch. I didn't get any breakfast, Donnie. I'm a bit hungry myself. But thanks for watching, Joe. I always see you in here. Thanks for watching us today. Much appreciated. Make sure you hit that like button, Joe Capper. Do us a favor. Donnie, let's move on. Again, I don't mean to be quick with this one, but I mean, Donnie, 36.5.
Nah, stinks. You know what? 36.5. I'm going over. Do you know why I'm going over? 3 and out, 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 3 and out. Oh my God, each team got 72 possessions in this game. Somebody's going to score because somebody's going to make the stupid interception, the pick six. Because even you saw it last week, Jeff, in the Redskins and the New York Giants game where the Red Zone channel was making fun of the game, saying, we haven't been here because nobody can move the football at all. And you know what it took, Jeff? An interception from their own 1 yard line to go back for a touchdown, and the floodgates opened. I think that might happen here today. I just think
weird,
throwing it around. Nobody gives a damn, and it's 36. It's not 56.
Now, Donnie, I want to make 2 points here before we move on. First of all, your markers to the left of you. Look at that. Look at the way those markers are positioned.
Yeah.
They're perfectly in a line,
I like
Donnie.
That, don't you? Right in front of the cigars, man. Yeah, right in front.
That is good work. Yep. Also, I want to quell the rumor that I go to buffets. I don't go to buffets. I eat a lot better than that. I
haven't been to a buffet in a long time. I like to eat, but there's
buffets are disgusting, man. Like really,
you're not really getting great. And maybe if you go to like the Borgata in Atlantic City, like the casinos, especially in Las Vegas as well, they're legitimate buffets. But I'm not talking about the one that's around the corner for like $4.99.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Come on, man.
I'm good on any kind of buffet. No, I'm not interested. Give me a nice steak, a nice meal, a little shrimp steak. Listen, Donnie, when we went back in the prehistoric days, back in the older years, a bigger guy was the king. He ate a lot. That means you're eating good.
Yeah.
I'm the big man on campus. These jokes I love, and I don't like buffets. I want to make that clear. I eat well. We don't eat buffets.
Yeah, people have suggested in the past that they would like you to gain another 40 or 50 pounds.
I remember that guy. Not going to happen, but either way. And by the way, Donnie, I will periscope the meal next week at the Nadu party, which is going to be quite the soiree. I know you're looking forward to that, aren't you?
Yeah, well, it should be good. Got the hotel booked and cooked, and we'll be traveling, which remains interesting. I don't know if I'll be on the show next Sunday, Jeff. I'll be, up in, farm country.
That's a good point. Do we meet up to do the show? I don't know. You're going to have your family with you? Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, it's going to be
good call by you, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to pre-film.
Might have to go dark. Might have to go dark next Sunday, Jeff. Just no show out of respect.
Pre-film it or something.
Yeah, pre-film. That's a good point. You know what? Which would be kind of pretty funny going over it. So
maybe just use the Audible.
Exactly. Yeah.
Donnie is a well-organized, smart professional.
I'm actually not really well-organized, to be honest with you. It just looks like that in the back. Like, you know how you walk into like a TV studio? Like, man, look at this cool place. My life really doesn't revolve like that. My wife will call me a complete mess, and she will tell you that to your face. But it looks like I got my stuff together, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, buffets are brutal. I'm no interest in buffets. I'd rather just go eat a really good meal somewhere and pay.
Yeah, but you're talking about two different things. Like the high-end casino buffet is legit.
No, listen, I'm telling you, Donnie, I don't want fucking 10 different people eating out of the same thing I'm eating out of. I'm good.
Like I went to last time I was out in Las Vegas, actually 2 times ago when I was out in Las Vegas, I ate at the Aria buffet, and it was just the breakfast, but it was just outrageous. It was outrageous.
I feel like that would be a good buffet, probably.
Yes, like what made to order omelets, and it's just you're almost saying, you know what, I have to eat so much out of respect for how good this buffet is. You ever get that?
Yep.
Like the food is so good, I have to eat enough of it just to show whoever made it enough respect. Like I'm stuffed. I can't put another plate down. That's respect. You go over somebody's house, Jeff, you have a nice meal, and like, well, do you want seconds? No, I'm good. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. They ask you for seconds, you take it.
lot of people checking in, agreeing with your Aria Buffet comment. Definitely like Aria's Buffet.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, man. Ari's Buffet was awesome, man.
Susana checking in. What's up, buddy? Yeah, give me my own damn plate. I want a steak. Give me a lobster. Give me some sushi, maybe. That's right where I'm at with it. Let's move on to the toilet bowl, Donnie. Another toilet bowl game here. Arizona and Atlanta, the Battle of the A's. Yeah. Donnie, a big number here for Atlanta. How about that? 9. Yeah. Donnie, I want to give you some good info here on some interesting stuff here. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, how would you look to attack the Falcons?
If I was the Cardinals?
Yeah, like what would you do on offense?
You want David Johnson 75 times up the middle.
Okay. Also, if I were the Atlanta or the Arizona Cardinals and Josh Rosen, you want to attack the slot. You look at the slot this year. Atlanta's gotten shredded in the slot. I mean, Nelson Aguilar, Tyler Boyd, Smith-Schuster, Maurice Harris, Sterling. I mean, Donnie, they're getting shredded in the slot. I mean, 100, 82, 124, 167. Put Larry Fitzgerald in the slot, hand the ball off to David Johnson, get inside the number here. How do you lay 10 with or 9 or 10 with the Falcons?
Because you have to put it in perspective. You have to put it in perspective and say, when you originally look at the line and it's 9 or 10, you go, that's ridiculous. I'm taking Arizona. But this isn't a normal football team that can say, on a week-to-week basis, we'll put up, 27, 28 points. We have the capability to do that. I just look at Arizona and I say, if they can get to 14 points, I think Atlanta's going to cover. And I don't know if Arizona can get to 14 points. How crazy is that in the NFL? And that's what I look at here.
Yeah, this is a really tough game. I mean, a game that I have, it's good it's at 1 o'clock because it could just be hidden and we could just forget about it and it can fall off into the sink of nothingness. You know what I'm saying, Donnie? Big man, are you excited to meet the right sides? And Donnie, are you excited to meet? I've actually already met the right sides. When I picked Donnie up for IFBC, I went to his house and I met his wife.
Yep, dog was out there.
Came out. Yeah, everybody came out. So I've actually, in a way, already met the right sides. Donnie and I are actually friends outside of here, guys. We know each other. I know where he lives. He knows where I'm at. We kind of know the same people in a way, maybe. But Donnie has not met my family. They've been largely mysterious to Donnie. But I think he knows that their boss is just like me. Right, Donnie?
And we'll make sure of it next week. I'll know if Jeff, maybe I'm getting set up here. Maybe this is an elaborate scheme where Jeff doesn't like me and I just disappear when I go up to his place. You know what I mean? There's never any party. That was all an elaborate scheme, how smart Jeff is.
Yeah, we're actually going to kidnap you and sell you off into white slavery. Yes, that's what we're going to do, Donnie.
Little Cosmo DiNardo action out of you, Jeff. True?
No, settle down there, buddy. No, we're looking forward to it. Really looking forward to next week. So, yeah, I think we're all excited for it. Donnie will meet all the fam and friends. 140 people coming, Donnie.
Look at that. Good stuff, man. Yeah, get that open bar going. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull up a seat next to your pop and just be like, you know what, man?
You raised this kid right.
Yep, you raised this kid right, and we ain't never been on the moon. I'm just going to get up and leave.
Yeah. He doesn't like hearing about that. He always calls me with conspiracy theorists. Like, he's like, hey, did you hear about this guy that says he'll give someone $1 million if they can prove the Holocaust happened?
Yep.
He's like telling me all this stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, man. But let's move on here. We got a game or two to. Are you bringing wine, Donnie? Or what?
I don't drink wine. My wife drinks wine, so we'll bring a nice bottle of wine. Again, you never go empty-handed to people that you've never met. That's always a rule.
Yeah, exactly. Donnie's so clueless. Yeah, but you're watching us, Zeke. So thanks for.
What am I clueless on though? On buffets, I guess.
Yeah, right. We're just handing out free information.
He has the Burger King. Yeah, maybe Burger King. I don't know. I ate Burger King the other day, Zeke. See, you're a big fan of Burger King.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, though, man. Let's keep it moving here. We got a couple more to go through, Donnie. Let's move on to Seattle and San Francisco. Good old NFC West matchup here. Seattle's got to have it, Donnie. You got to win every game from here on out. San Francisco's mired in nothingness right now. But they're off a win against Denver. They can't win 2 in a row. Seattle has to have this. This is an easy winner, isn't it?
It's really interesting. I mean, the line opens up at 6.5, and plummets to 3.5 in most places. And I'm hearing this adage that Seattle has nothing to play for, which, I mean, I don't know that. I mean, did they have a big win? Yes. Coming off a Monday game? Yes. But we're not pulling up and posting up, Jeff, against some hot-blooded running team that's just like gunning for everybody. I mean, this is Nick Mullins and the San Francisco 49ers who absolutely took out the trash a couple weeks ago versus the San Francisco 49ers. So this line movement leads me to believe, Jeff, that was a fluke, that they got bounced by like 4 touchdowns and only scored in the fourth quarter. Hey, Nick Mullins threw for a lot of yards. Yeah, on like 2 slant passes in the fourth quarter that meant absolutely nothing. I guess if we're just going to be super sharp, Jeff, hey, man, 49ers are the play in this one. I mean, if it's 3.5, I'm going to take Seattle, and I'll be square on it because you're asking San Francisco to win this game, and this whole notion that San Francisco's not playing, or the Seattle Seahawks aren't playing for anything. As long as Russell Wilson suits up, they're playing for something. So
keep in mind, Donnie, and maybe you wait to halftime with the Seahawks. They're the most profitable team versus the second half spread this year.
Yeah,
10-3. So maybe you wait. But yeah, I don't have much on this one. I think all of us are going to be fixated on this next game. New England heading to Pittsburgh. New England 2.5. 3, though, to get 105 and 110 against Pittsburgh, total 55.5. Donnie, everyone's given an opinion on this game. Everyone has their thoughts. I'm looking at a Steelers team that's lost 3 in a row, but I'm looking at a Steelers team that in those 3 games, all of them were by 7 points or less. I'm looking at a Steelers team, that's at home in this game. I'm looking at a Steelers team that has a decent defense, better than the Patriots. But I'm looking at a Tom Brady that's terrific on the road. In the second of those road games, he's just Tom Brady. That's what he does. And they shred the Steelers. I don't know what else to say about it. Do you think over here? Plenty of points.
Yeah, I mean, it's rainy in the forecast, but again, it's tarped field and it's supposed to be done. You're probably going to see points because Pittsburgh's going to need to throw the football to win. But both of these defenses are decent, and Pittsburgh being the better defense overall than New England, if you're just looking at stats there, they should be able to rush the pass in this game. But it's Tom Brady. They're healthy with weapons. They should be able to move the football. I just look at it, Jeff, from one of those angles where, say what you want about New England. If New England's at home, I mean, nobody beats New England at home. But New England on the road is a completely different story. And now you're going into a Pittsburgh team, which I've said it all week long, and I'll say the same thing. Pittsburgh loses today, Jeff. They don't get in the playoffs, which is outrageous to think about. Where the Steelers, were they angling for the top seed, and you're looking 6-7 weeks down. Boy, if they can beat New England, they can get that top seed. That's all going to be up in smoke. They're done. If they lose today, Tomlin is getting fired, and they're moving on from a lot of players.
If they get to 3 here, I'm interested. I think you're right. They're on suicide watch. They're basically in the corner, cowering. Can they get up and say, "Yeah, I'm going to fight. I'm not going to get beat up here. I'm not going to get bullied." This is you got to do it. Big spot. You have to have it.
Easy. And the public already bet the game. Public already said the game's over. New England won. So place your bet and just go back up to the cage a minute or 2 later, and they'll actually pay you out for the winner. Those are the ones I look at as well.
Big man, did you hear about the new Sportsbook this week in Pittsburgh? And the first bet they took was 11K on the Patriots, made by a Steelers fan. Yeah, I did see that. That's actually an article I read a little earlier today. Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh Steelers fans don't seem too interested.
Well, yeah,
right
maybe
now.
It's a good thing though, because you say to yourself, like, I have some money, right? I love my Steelers. If they win, we're going to go to the playoffs. But if we lose, we're not going to the playoffs. But I got some money in my pocket.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great way to look at it, Donnie, right? Mm-hmm. It's like tonight, hey, maybe I'll just I want to bet on the Eagles, but it's like, you know what? I pretty much know they're going to get shredded. So it's like, but we'll talk about that game here at halftime. Big Men could play in a movie. I could see that.
There you go.
Thank you. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they'll make a movie about Donnie and I's life, and I'll be myself. Yeah. Donnie, that's it. Let's get to maybe a play of the day here. What do you think?
I'm gonna go shock the world in the game. That's going to be completely contrarian, Jeff. Washington, Jacksonville, Johnson and Kessler. I'm going over 36 in that game. How do you like that?
Yeah, well, hey, I don't listen. 36.5 in an NFL game. Give me a break. There's no weather in this game, is there? Either?
Nope. Jeff. Let's put it out there. Over by the half.
Really? Wow. 64.
No, I mean, that's a little bit tough to do in that game, but I'm going over 36. I've seen it way too many times in the NFL. If it ends up 6-0, then it ends up 6-0. But I've seen it way too many times in these games. A ridiculously low number. Oh, but the defense is good, and they just turn it on its head. And end up,
here's what I'm going to say at half: 17-17 at half. We're halfway there, or almost right there. Yeah. I guess the number's 36, so we're right there. Yeah, for me, I'm going to go Buffalo. I'm going to lay it with Buffalo. Fuck, man, it's 3, though. Fuck. You know what I'm going to do, Donnie?
What are we doing?
I'm good. I'm going to take Buffalo. I think they win.
I like
think
it.
they
Yeah,
get the job
that's
done
a
here.
good play, man. They should
Buffalo
win this game. They
minus
should
3.
win this game.
I'm going to rock with them here. All right, guys, that's it. 5 minutes to spare. You can go and get a bathroom break, get a little food in front of you, and get ready for these games.
We'll be back at the half.
Yep. Have a great day, and thanks for joining us, all of you guys in here, and thanks for the likes. Have a great day. We'll see you at halftime.